So in this video we're going to go over multiplying polynomials, and this is something that we need to be really good at because we're going to be using it throughout the year. So our goals today are to be able to learn how to multiply a polynomial by a monomial, and to be able to multiply two polynomials together. Let's go over the distributive property really quickly because this is an important thing that we need to remember. So the word distribute means to give a share. And what that means is that multiplication has this distributive property, meaning that it is shared by things in parentheses. For example, we have the expression 3 times 2 plus 3. So what we can do here is to go about it one of two ways. We can either add the sum, so 2 plus 3, that becomes 5. So we have 2 plus 3. So these are sets of 5. We're going to multiply that by 3 times, and we're going to get an answer of 15. Our other option is we can do 3 times 2, so we're multiplying our 3 into our 2, and that gives us 6. And then we can multiply our 3 times our 3, and that gives us a 9. 6 and 9 add up to be 15, and so we find out that it's the same answer whether or not we do it by the sum, doing the stuff in the parentheses first and multiplying it by the multiplication on the outside, or if we do the multiplication first and then add them together. So let's do a quick example or two of this. Let's distribute A into the quantity B plus C. So we have B, A goes into B, so we have AB, and A goes into C, AC. So we have AB plus AC, and that's our answer there. We can do this as well with our negative 6 times our quantity x plus 5. So negative 6 times x is going to be negative 6x. Negative 6 times 5 is going to be negative 30. And that'll be our final answer. That's how we distribute it in. What we're going to do right now is we're going to have a quick check. We're going to simplify these polynomials, they're technically polynomials, by using the distributive property. So I'll give you a moment to pause the video and go over that. Next, we're going to do some polynomials times monomials. And the way we can do that is when we multiply a monomial by a polynomial, we're just going to multiply each term of the polynomial by the monomial. So we're just using the distributive property here. And we need to remember that when we are dealing with the exponents tell us the number of times the base is multiplied by itself. So if we have x times x, we'll end up with x squared. That squared in the exponent up here tells us that the x is multiplied by itself 2 times. So when we have something like n times n plus 1, we need to make sure that when we multiply it in, n times n, we can write that as n squared. N times 1 is going to be n. So you notice that this gains that exponent because it's n times n. And so it's n squared. We're going to do some examples real quick here. N times 2, the quantity 2n plus 6. So n times 2n is 2n squared. And then we're going to go n times 6, and that's going to be plus 6n. Here we have a negative x times the quantity x plus 5. So we have negative x times x, which is going to be negative x squared. So the negative stays there, but the x's are multiplied by each other, so we're going to get a squared in there. And our negative x times our negative 5, or our positive 5, was going to give us a negative 5x. Let's do a quick check right now. We're going to multiply these polynomials by the monomial. You'll notice that they'll be basically the same thing. Beforehand we had it with just numbers. Now we have them with some extra letters and variables. So take a moment and do this quick check.